Okay, hello and welcome back to Reading the Decades with me. Shall we try something new today? I don't know if I've already uploaded a video about that or if I never uploaded. Basically, it came to my mind when I didn't feel too good while filming my last video because of all the noise that was going on and how that affects my autistic brain. Afterwards I made the video where I talked about that everything has to be so perfect on YouTube these days, and when I started out and when everybody started out around, when was it that YouTube launched, 2005 or 2006, the quality was very low because obviously the technology wasn't around back then that we have now in our smartphones, and I just talked about that it is so much fun to just sit down and film a video without having to think about the right angle and the right lighting and all of that. And so today I maybe still upload the normal version. I filmed this video already in its normal version, but this is the downgraded, the cozy let's talk about books version of this video. And today I show you the biggest books that I have at the moment that are on my bookshelf. Well, they are not all of them because I apply a few rules. For example, they have to be novels. There are no classics in here, no biography, no non-fiction, only novels, and no bind-ups and no anthologies, because it's quite easy to, for example, have all the 5 Patrick Melrose novels, put them all up together in one book and have 1,500 pages or something like that. So my Lord of the Rings isn't in here, my Ulysses isn't in here, only novels. And I've only read one of them so far. I have 17 novels today to show you. I've only read one, which is not good, because I love big books, and I always say, oh, I love big books, I read so many big books, which I do, but lots of these books actually I have for so many years on my TBR, and they made the cut, they moved with me to the UK. And with me and big books, or with me and certain types of books, it's like I have so many, I'm so excited for them, to read them, and I'm afraid of when I read them, the excitement obviously is gone. And this is why I never read certain types of books, which is totally stupid. But yeah, that's how I ended up with 16 books still on my TBR of the big books I show you today. I have other big books, but I had to make a cut somewhere, and so I decided for 17. Okay, let's start with number 17. And 586 pages, which is a German one, which is called Nackt unter Wölfen by Bruno Apels. The translation would be Naked Amongst Wolves, and this is a Holocaust story. I think it is based on true events. It is about a boy in a concentration camp, and people are trying to hide that boy. And I started reading this book, and it's such a depressing story, and all Holocaust stories make me really, really sad. And you know, I really want to read this book this year, finish it. I don't know, I don't have any bookmark in here, so I have to start again basically. It's going to be a very hard read, but it's also a very important read, I think. I don't know if there is an English translation to this, but if you can read German, I'd highly recommend reading this, because so far what I've read was really good, but also obviously very hard to read. Then number 15 with 706 pages is Donna Tartt's The Little Friend, which I bought not too long ago, and I don't really know what it is about. I think it's about a 9-year-old boy, and he hung himself, and I don't know much more about it. I like to go quite blind into my books. I like to know the theme, the topic, some keywords, and that's it. And it's really big. I love big books, and It is in this, what is it edition called? It's a Bloomsbury edition. I have another book in this one. And I really like to collect them all because they have white spines, and I really like white spines, and the illustration on the cover is really, really pretty. And I've already read Donna Tartt's The Secret History, and I really enjoyed it and would like to reread that this year. But I think I give this one first come, first serve. Well, I'm gonna read this one before I reread The Secret History. Then with 706 pages, and the only book that I've read on the pile I show you today is Stephen Chbosky's Imaginary Friend. I think that's only, no, it is one of two hardcovers, no, one of three hardcovers I show you today. And this came out last September, October. It is a horror story about a group of friends that discover a secret or a different fantasy world, and yeah, I really like that one, and I'm pretty sure when that comes out in paperback they will add a few more pages, because the hardback is quite tall book, and yeah, really loved that one. Then number 14 with 720 pages is A Little Life by Hanya Yana Gihara. I'm so sorry if I butchered this name. This book is on my TBR since it came out, and I don't know too much about it anymore, but I trust myself that when I bought it, that I knew that this could be a book that I really enjoy. I think it's about friends, and it's about a group of friends they met in college, and it follows them over the years. So I think it's a quite character-driven book, and everybody who's read this was so moved by it, because apparently it's also going to be a very sad story. I don't know yet. The next book with 751 pages is Lace by Shirley Conran, which I think it got published in the 80s, at least it is set in the 80s, and it is about also a group of friends. I think they are women, and they're very rich, they're living a very luxurious life, but that doesn't mean that they all have a very happy life. I think that's a summer book. I categorize my books into which season I want to read them, and this definitely for me I think is a summer book, and I got it last summer, but I didn't read it last summer, so hopefully this summer I come around to it. And also the cover is so pretty, so 80s. Then with 780 pages I have the German translation of Skippy Dies by Paul Murray, and I got this so long ago as well. Like lots of those books I show you today I have on my TBR for at least 8 years, some maybe even 10 years, got my hair. And this is I think that is set in the UK. Yeah, and it is about a schoolboy who goes to boarding school, I think, and one of his friends dies, and it is a coming of age story. I'm pretty sure about that, and I think it is split into 3 sections called Hopeland, Heartland and Ghostland. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to read this. I started to read the first few pages just a few weeks ago, and got kind of intrigued. I think it's quite funny. A book I got quite recently is Wanderers by Chuck Wendig. I got this one for Christmas, and let me check. This book has 782 pages, and it's one of the 3 hardcovers. And I think this is an apocalyptic, near-apocalypse or post-apocalyptic story. I don't know too much about it. I've seen it in Waterstones and on the internet, and everybody had quite good oh, I put it here. So heavy to hold this up. Oh, so heavy to hold all these books up. Well, everybody had quite good things to say about it. So yeah, for me it's a summer book as well. So just to let you know, probably the summer is going to be the summer of big books. And then we enter the top 10 with 807 pages. We're in the 800s now. Another German one, Dietmar Dart, Feel the Fire. This has a very beautiful cover with this cutout. Yeah, and I have that for so long, and this is one I'm most excited to read. And it is a science fiction novel, and But it's a science fiction novel about a woman who asks the right question about art and how art influences the world. I don't know too much about it. I think it's going to be a very interesting read. Don't know if there's an English translation to that one though. And another science fiction one that I accumulated very recently with 867 pages is 70s by Neil Stephenson. This is about the Earth coming to an end after something very bad happened, maybe a nuclear event, I don't know. And it's about people going to space, and I don't know any more about this. And yeah, it's chunky, and I really wanted the hardcover, but it's so hard to find the hardcover edition of that book these days. So I got this one. This was really cheap, but I also think it's so ugly. Yeah, let's see if I like that one. And if it ends up being one of my favorites, I might see if I can find a hardcover version or a prettier version of that book. One Stephen King on this list with 870 pages is Dreamcatchers, and it has the most absolute beautiful cover in the world with this pink. I really went searching for this particular cover because I wanted the book to be in this cover, and it's quite a narrow one. And this book is about a group of friends again, and something happened, or they experienced something in their childhood or teenage years, and years later they come back together and have to defeat the monster, or want to find out what it was that happened to them, and collect a few more answers to all the questions they have about what happened. It's a winter book, so if I don't read it this winter, I will read it next winter. Then on number 7, a book I got recently with 898 pages, Roberto Bolaño, 2666, and it is so big and it is so beautiful. It is from the Picador Classic edition, and they all have this white spine, and I absolutely love white spine. I have quite a few of these, and this takes place at the US-Mexican border, and I think it is also close to the apocalypse, or it has kind of like the feeling of the apocalypse could be near. And I started reading this in Waterstones, and I really enjoyed it. I really like Spanish writing authors. This is the English translation though. Number 6 with 921 pages is another German novel, Gegen die Welt by Jan Brand. I don't know if there's an English translation to that. It's a big floppy one. It is about the reunion of Germany, West Germany and East Germany in 1990, and it talks about how pop culture changed and how that was approached, or how that influenced life in very cut-off villages. And I haven't read that one, and I got this in a charity shop for very cheap. Very cheap a long time ago. And it's one of those that I've died to read, but because of that I haven't read it yet. Then with 955 pages, I have the German translation of I Am Charlotte Simmons by Tom Wolfe, which is set in a university environment. It follows Charlotte Simmons, who has very particular ideas of how her university life is going to be, and everything crashes around her basically, because it is not what she expected university life to be. And yeah, another big floppy one. I'm pretty sad that I have the German translation of the original English one, but well, I will read it nevertheless in the German translation. I'm not going to buy the English original now. Then on number 4 with 976 pages, we have Dan Simmons' Drood, which is a story about Charles Dickens, and that really happened. He had a train accident, and then I think they also put in his own imagination Charles Dickens met Edwin Drood, but the description on the back says, is Drood actually a man? Is he a human, or what is he? Who is he? And in December I just read a book about Charles Dickens, a novel, and I quite enjoyed it. So I think this is also the book I have on my TBR for the longest time. It is a German translation of the English original, and I really want to read this. And reading the other novel about Charles Dickens in December really made me want to read this book. What I look has actual, is it real ones? Like real cutouts from newspapers, probably. Okay, we are in the top 3 now. And the next one is, we finally enter the 1,000 pages. And I got this book in German first, started reading it in German, got rid of it, and bought an English edition. It's 1,006 pages. It is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Narogby, Susanna Clark, another one of those pretty Bloomsbury ones that also have the white spine, very big. And this is about magic and about magicians and how magic gets perceived by other people. There's actually a real magician, and then there's a group of people who call themselves magicians, and there's also a TV adaptation about it, and I've never seen it because I want to read the book first. Number 2 with 1,030 pages is Ducks Newbury Port by Lucy Ellmann. And this is so hard to hold up, it is so heavy. I got this when it just came out. It got nominated for the shortlist of the Men Booker Prize. It didn't win though. And it is about a housewife who contemplates her life, she has anxiety, she starts thinking about everything bad that could happen to her and her family. And apparently it captures the zeitgeist of contemporary America at the moment. I'm really excited for that one. I hope I read this book this year. And now, drum roll for number 1 with 1,094 pages. Another German translation of a great American novel from 1995 is William H. Gass' The Tunnel. Another hardback, and it is so heavy. And this is on my TBR for ages too. And this book is about a university professor who writes a book about Hitler, I think, or the Holocaust. Sorry, that topic again. And he only has to finish a few more little parts and pieces, and then he has finished the whole book. And he has to write an introduction, and but apparently it seems like he puts too many information in the introduction. He hopes that others don't perceive it to be too close to his own life, and at the same time he starts to build a tunnel under his house. So it's a very weird concept. I don't know too much about it because I like to go blind into my books. It has experimental parts, so it's not completely prose. It has pictures in it and plays with the font and all of that. I have to put it down because it's so heavy. Oh my god. Actually, it says on the back it's a story of a professor who researches the Nazi time and discovers that he actually isn't too far from being a Nazi himself. So quite a depressing and interesting read, I guess. So these are all the big books or the big novels that I own. And I love big books for the sake of that you can spend so much time with the characters in a world. Obviously you really have to like the world and the characters. And that the author also has time to elaborate on the characters, to really let them develop. I think lots of people make 2020 the year of the big book. Ariel Bissett just came out with a video, I don't know when this goes up, but a few weeks ago by then now probably, where she wants to tackle her big books. And I don't have to tackle my big books because I love reading big books. But now that I actually found out that so many of my big books are still unread, which is shocking to me. I didn't expect that at all because I quite frequently read big books. I might make 2020 the year of the big book for me too. I don't have a fear of big books, or I don't have anything against them. As I said, I really love them. But yeah, maybe the summer of 2020 is going to be the summer of the big book because I have so many books that are categorized as summer books. So we're at the end of this talkative video, and I don't know if I upload this. I don't know if I upload this together with the normal version. I'm not sure. But I really feel so comfortable just sitting here, just having my tablet. Just I don't even look at the camera. I said this in the other video I filmed, and I don't know if I uploaded that. But as an autistic person, you don't tend to look into other people's eyes, and the same applies to a camera. And I can't even see faces. So yeah, but that's a topic for another day. And I had quite fun filming, sitting here on the floor, being just me, and not being under the pressure of how perfect everything has to be. I just want to talk about books, and today I had to show you some books, and that's what I did. And I hope to see you next week. And until then, happy reading, and I hope you like big books, and I hope you join me on the journey to read the big books this year. Happy reading, bye.